Good morning. Welcome. We're going to rise, please, in body or spirit, and sing our gathering song. Oh, we give thanks. We'll do it call and response style. So I'll sing a line, and you sing it after me. Ready? Here we go. Oh, we give thanks.
We give thanks
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
For all gathered here.
For all gathered here.
And those far away.
And those far away.
For this time we share.
For this time we share.
With love and care.
With love and care.
Oh, we give thanks.
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
Oh, we give thanks.
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
For all gathered here.
For all gathered here.
And those far away.
And those far away.
For this food we share.
For this food we share.
With love and care.
With love and care.
Oh, we give thanks.
We give thanks
For this precious day.
for this precious day.
Oh, we give thanks.
We give thanks
For this precious day.
for this precious day.
Amen. Amen.
This is a song written by a dear friend of mine, Thankful.
Are we ready?
I am thankful for the sun-tipped mountain breeze, the campfire and the trees, rain on dusty roads. I am thankful. All I had to do was ask. Someone stepped up to the task when I couldn't pull the load. I am thankful for the guitar and the drum, the chorus and the hum, and tunes to pass the time. I am thankful for the doubting and the dreaming, the silence and the scheming, the rhythms and rhyme. And I thank the Lord for all I'm not, gratitude for all I've got, blessed breath and solid ground, and all this love come tumbling down. I am thankful for the bread upon the table, the wine cup and the ladle, for grace and holding hands. I am thankful for the linen and the lace, the wrinkles on my face, all the memories and plans. And I thank the Lord for all I'm not, gratitude for all I've got, blessed breath and solid ground, and all this love come tumbling down. I am thankful for the joining and the leaving, the laughter and the grieving, the spirit we all share. I am thankful that after we are gone, the songs will carry on and hope will fill the air. And I thank the Lord for all I'm not, gratitude for all I've got, blessed breath and solid ground,
Thank you, Bill and Sherilyn. We have a wealth of wonderful musical gifts in this service today, which I hope you will enjoy. And I'm grateful to our music director, Ondine Young, for her work in preparing this. Good morning and welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and my pronouns are she and her. And I want to welcome all of you here today. We're really grateful to have you here. And for those of you who are visiting with us today, a special welcome. And those of you who are back after a long absence, we're really glad to see your faces. And we're glad that you've chosen to spend part of your week with us here in the sanctuary. We also have a setup in the Borton Hall. And we've got at least one very hearty soul I can see out there on our patio today. So welcome, and we're glad you're here as well. So for those of you online, we invite you to join our virtual coffee hour, which will be held for just a few minutes after the service, so you can say hello. And if you're visiting, we hope you'll sign a visitor's card at our table. We're going to be moving our coffee service inside today in the Borton Hall, so when we walk out, we'll be walking out into the hall through the gallery, if we can do that. I want to mention that next week will be the week that if you're ready to make the commitments of membership, we'll have a signing after the service. So please see me or one of our board members if you're interested in that next week. And also, we are glad that we have welcomed back our caring listeners on Sunday. Our caring listener will be with us at the during our offertory up front, so that you can identify that person. Glad to take a moment to have a conversation with you after the service, as are Travis and I as well. So we're grateful to all of you for that as well. We hope that, thank you to everyone who joined us for our harvest meal and those who helped make it happen. I see a lot of our harvest meal people. Can you just raise your hand, and so we can all give you a great, it was really wonderful to have so many wonderful volunteers. And we might even have a few wonderful treats left over for coffee hour, so that could be happening as well. We have many ways to connect with community in this holiday season, and we hope you'll keep your eye out for that, including our Breath and Spirit retreat, which will be held in the next couple weeks. So welcome to this beloved community.
Good morning. I'm Nasa Matt, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she and her. Welcome to our service. Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming faith community. We begin our services by reading our mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. This is a time when many communicable things are around. Our expectation is that those who are inside are symptom-free. Thank you to all who participated in our Bid for Love 2023 and last week's Congregational Forum. We hope that you will consider MDUUC on this coming Giving Tuesday in the coming week. And welcome. It is good to be together.
Well, on this weekend, perhaps the theme that we can most gather around is that of gratitude. So as we exchange greetings, please tell everyone that you're grateful that they're here. That's online as well. Let's exchange greetings. So I'm going to invite those who are young and young at heart and to come forward for our mindful moment this morning, which I'm grateful to be doing. You're close enough. It's fine. All right. Some of you have asked why we have added a mindful moment into our. Oh, this is perfect. Come on up. Come on up. We're starting right up here. Come on up here. And why we've added a mindful moment to our services this year, and it's because we live in a world where a lot of things happen that shake us up, right? And you start feeling really shaken up. And so it's good to figure out the skills that we can have to just settle ourselves back down when we need to, and just be able to let things settle. So you can see, those of you up here, I'll have to tell some of you back there, this is why you should sit further up, is all I'm saying, that the glitter is starting to move to the bottom already, right? And then we'll put it down, and at the end of the service, all the water will be at the top and all the glitter will be at the bottom. And that is why we take a moment to check in with ourselves, check in with our breath, and just be able to see how we can settle. So let's just take a moment. I'm going to shake it up again. And as I shake it up, if you want to, everyone out there, you all can do this too. You can just shake out everything you need to from this week. Might have been that driver on the highway that cut across 6 lanes of traffic in front of you, or that relative that said something insensitive, or the person that you met, whatever it is, shake it off. And then let's just take a moment and just breathe together. Let's just breathe. Take a couple breaths. And if breathing isn't your thing, you can just tap your feet, or you can pat your hands on your legs as well. But let's just allow ourselves to settle into being here, because it's a great gift to be together. Thank you. And I'm going to invite Richard to light our chalice if you want to come forward. And Lynn.
Good morning. This is from James Luther Adams, a 20th century theologian and UU minister. A living tradition is not bequeathed through some law of inheritance. It must be earned, not without dust and heat, and not without humbling grace.
Hello. My name is Travis McPhee. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm going to read a story to y'all today. And the story is called Our Little Kitchen. This is by Jillian Tamaki. Hi. Hello. Every Wednesday, we come together in this little kitchen. Hello. Our little kitchen, a tiny, small place, is just big enough. So squeeze in and make space. Hello. Tie on your apron. Roll up your sleeves. Pans are out. Oven is hot. The kitchen's all ready. Where do we start? Well, let's look around and see what we've got, what we've grown, what we've kept, been given, and bought. All we need is around us. We just need to look. See how our little garden has grown? Remember how we push seeds into soil, one by one. Tomatoes are ripe. I'll pick a few. The lettuce is holy, bugs ate through. These carrots, though, still so very small. Look at these zooks. Let's use them up too. I found some carrots just a week or two old. Half of a celery, 10 radishes. Oh. Dunno what this is, but it's gotta go. The bakery brought us some day-old loaves. Soft and warm, good as new. Ah. A minute in the oven, maybe 2. 3 bags of apples, some of them bruised. A few sticks of butter. Cut off the brown bits, they're still good to use. Cinnamon, sugar, oats from the cupboard. A sweet apple crumble. That sounds very good. Beans from the food bank, 3rd week in a row. But it's what we've got. We'll use them somehow. Bean salad, bean soup, bean tacos, bean stew. I'm out of ideas. What about you? Glug, glug, glug. Our little kitchen's really cooking now. Listen to the delicious music we make. Sounds like sizzle, chop, 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 spit, pick, sprinkle, slice, peel, beep, splash, squish, and toss. 15 minutes. Here come the early birds. Grab your favorite seat. How is life treating you? How was your week? Good to see you. New haircut? It's all right. Nice weather. Fork, knife, and spoon. Now rolled up tight. 10 minutes more. And still so much to do. Behind you, watch out. Salad coming through. It looks like we're having chili again. Those who don't cook don't get to complain. Well, it's not perfect, but it's the best we could do. 2 minutes left. Let's wrap it up, crew. Already? Can't be. Where's the salt? Where's the cheese? Give me 1 minute, just one more sec, please. No, 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 no. Our neighbors are waiting. I mean it. Let's go. Look at that beautiful community. And that beautiful food. The best sound in the world is slurp. Is your body warm? Is your belly full? One little kitchen can't give us all that we need, but would you like seconds? Delicious as always. A kiss on the cheek. See you next week. Have a nice evening. Okay, time to clean up. The end. Thank you so much for listening. I'd like to invite the young and young at heart to return to their loved ones in the seats.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Patricia Craven, your very grateful worship associate for today. My pronouns are she and her. Now, some of you have heard this before, but I'm going to say it again, that when I came to MDUC, I was not looking for a spiritual community. In spring of 2014, I was looking for comfort and guidance as I had navigated the loss of my best friend and 3 of my siblings over the last 4 years. Not only was I not looking for a spiritual community, I actually had been intentionally adverse to anything that looked like organized religion. Though my spiritual life had been with me my entire life, it was the practice and belief that I did in private. Even when I went to workshops or retreats, I never joined the community. I stayed outside on the fringes of that group. I needed this to hold fast to my beliefs. My brother, who was an ordained minister at the Church of Christ, used to say, "I don't have a congregation of my own because I'm too liberal for most and too conservative for all the others." He and I had a very strong spiritual bond, so I totally understood his perspective and the essence of the statement. Now, this all changed as Leslie Takahashi invited me to meet with her after I had attended a grief group on Fridays. As I said, I was adverse to any kind of organized religion, so with hesitation, I made the appointment. This meeting was my introduction to being welcomed into a community that was about seeking truth, love, and justice, caring for and receiving care from each other. I soon learned that it provided so very many avenues for my mind, my heart, my body, and my spirit. As I initially sat in these rooms right back there on Sunday mornings, I would just sit there and sob. I allowed myself to have the grief, and surprisingly, I did not feel any shame among all of you. Instead, I received only warm concern and support. I listened and I strongly began to relate to all of the principles of UU, but especially the 4th principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and then the 7th principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. All of the principles, along with our covenant of relations and how we bring to life our UU values, which we all read every Sunday morning, I became no longer alone in expressing this very important aspect of my being, my spiritual aspect. I could share with and learn from others. For me, this exchange and time spent together is what I mean as spiritual. That is where I feel spirit is among us. Nothing more, of course, and nothing less. It's taken many forms for me over the last 10 years that I've been here. I was able to get my forever home, celebrate holidays with many of my MDUC friends, working for social justice with a group of people who also are committed, and sitting with another's pain when I was the pastoral visitor. And the list goes on for me. For me, spiritual did not mean something outside of myself. It's come to mean even deeper within myself, but also within our connection as a community. This quote, or this title of a poem, I'm not going to read you the poem. "Loving Spirit, Be Our Guest" is the title of a poem from a little book, I think it might be a kid's book, called Sunday and Every Day, my little book of universalism. So I'd like to invite you to just take a moment, look around the room. Just see who we have here. You may think about conversations you've had with people here. You may think about working together. Just be there, as I am with you. And now I'd like to just invite you all to come and join me today in this communion service. Thank you for being here.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing our opening congregational song, Let Us Break Bread Together. Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me. Let us praise God together on our knees. Let us praise God together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me.
Thank you. So, sorry about that. So I'm going to ask you all to join me in thinking about some questions, and I have a couple slides to have you think about this, because we want you all to be engaged with our questions around where it is that what we are thinking about together. And what we're thinking about together is this act of sharing together this festive time. And as Travis was reading, I was thinking about the community meal that we had here on Friday. And some years, it feels like it's just like that book. You get all the food out, you do all the prep, and then all of a sudden, it's time to clean up. But this year, it felt different. It felt spacious and gracious and connecting and lovely. And I'm appreciative to everybody who made that happen. So we're really grateful for that. But we want to have a chance to bring you into the room and with these questions. And do we have another slide, Emma, right after this? There we go. So Patricia mentioned this is our communion service. It's actually one of 3 services that we do that are sort of in the tradition of communion. But this one is the most traditional. And so I thought it might be good to break it down. That's what those little guys are doing. They're breaking it down. Say, what is communion anyway? It comes from the word from common, which means available to anyone. The word communion comes from the word common, which means available to anyone. And that's really important to think about, because some of us have had experiences of communion that weren't available to anyone. Anyone in the room ever have that experience? Yeah. Yeah, so we hope a lot of our children never have that experience, but that is something that's true. So, in the Christian tradition, this was a meal that was shared, and it was shared with the idea that it would be done in memory of the leader, Jesus. He asked that you do this again in memory of me, right? Do this in memory of me. And it was to share a meal. And we have to keep in mind that Jesus was a leader who believed that the meal should have been in common, open to anyone. He's someone who was with people that other people didn't actually believe were worth being with. And that was his tradition. So that's the tradition that we have. And though many think that our tradition is the wrong tradition, we know, if we go back to the roots, that ours is the right tradition. So there you go. I don't say that very often, but in this case, it's true if you look at history. Okay, so I've got a question. So here at MDUC, as I said, we believe that all are welcome at the table. So the question I have for you is, what is a meal you'd like to share? And I'm going to invite you to just take a minute or two and talk to someone around you and just answer this. It might be somebody you know or you came with. It could be your parents or somebody, but it might be someone you've never met before. But let's just take a minute and let's answer this question together. What's a meal you'd like to share? So I can tell from that we could have lots and lots of good shared meals, couldn't we? Yeah. Thanks for taking a moment to do that. Because what we'll be doing in a little bit, which we'll introduce, is, again, a symbolic meal. That means something that represents something, and it represents the table where all are welcome, the table that we hold in common. Thank you. It is the custom in our service, when we lose someone to death, to light a candle from our chalice. And I light this candle today for our dear member, Bob Hansen. Bob had an accident this week which resulted in his death, and we are thinking about him and his family and his friends, his dear friends, who rallied around him to make sure that he was hearing their voices and that he knew that they were with him. Bob has been such a devoted person, engaged in so many different aspects of life that we will be sharing stories about for so many weeks to come. He's been a member of this congregation since 1993, a lover of the environment, the natural world, of people and the community you can make on a riverbed, on a riverside, and also a great lover of peace. So when I went to see Bob this week on Thursday, one of the things I said to him was, I told him about the truce, because I thought Bob would want to know that. So let us hold in our hearts the great and generous spirit that is Bob Hansen. As plans for a celebration of Bob's life become made known, we will be communicating them with you. But in the meantime, please do something this week in honor of Bob.
Remain seated as we sing our meditation hymn, Ven, ven, qual eres ven. Ven, ven, qual eres ven. Nomen nos que nos llamas la vida, la nuestra es la caravana de amor. Ven otra vez, ven. Ven, ven, cual eres, ven. No podemos que las llamas la vida, la nuestra es la caravana de amor. Ven otra vez, ven.
Each year, we engage in this bread and cider ritual. It is our form of communion which connects us with Unitarians around the world. It comes from our Christian heritage and is still practiced 4 times a year by Unitarians in the Transylvanian tradition in Romania. This act, again, speaks to the wisdom of the great teacher Jesus of Nazareth, who knew the importance of community, and especially the importance of community in times of difficulty and turmoil, and especially the importance of community which would resist those who would limit or oppress.
Jesus wanted to be remembered, but mostly he wanted the idea of community that he had to be remembered after his death. And so he asked those who had been in his circle of community to continue to gather in this act of sharing food and drink, because that's what they had done together, just as you all exchanged ideas about how you could share food and drink. As we gather each year in the remembrance of all who use his teachings to widen the circles of love and unity, we do so hoping there will be more each year. One of my colleagues in Romania, the Reverend Maria Pop, said, "When we talk of God and you of Spirit of Life, we try to express the same human desire, the same human aspiration to overcome our limitations, to understand and make sense of our life, to struggle to feel the connection with the world around us."
As we start, we ask that we give intention to this simple ceremony as we recognize its elements. First, this is the bread we will share. Community is the food of life. And this is the cider we will share. With it, we quench our thirst for a just world where all are welcomed.
And now I'm going to, in a minute, as Julie plays for us, we will invite you to come forward if you wish to participate. We're going to ask you to come down the side aisles and then exit through the middle. And while this is the bread of life, if you're gluten-free or vegan, there are other breads of life on the table as well. And we have tongs, which we ask you to use as well. And if you would like to, you may come and dip in the cider that we will be holding. And if you are not feeling that getting up right now is a useful thing for you, you can invite someone to do that for you who's around you, or raise your hand and we'll come to you. And we have some extra cups of cider for people to bring to people that are their neighbors. So let us begin our communion service.
Every single motion is felt by everyone, everywhere. Every single action can start a chain reaction. So choose which path to take with extra care. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. We gotta come together. From regions to religions, none are true divisions. What is done to one is done to all. This planet is our mother. We're sisters and we're brothers. Alone we will perish, we will fall. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. We gotta come together. Today let's all agree to set our differences aside. Imagine what can happen if we all decide we are all in this together. We are all in this together. We gotta come together. From Everest to the ocean, every single motion is felt by everyone, everywhere. We are all in this together. 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 We've gotta come together.
We are so grateful to have the Rather Family Band with us today. Thank you so much. And all of our good music that we've had today. And this is a time, this is one of those special services we have a couple times a year where people of all ages are together in a multi-generational setting. And we want to honor that some of our people that could be people of all ages, might feel a need to move at this point. So we have an amazing group of our caregivers who we don't get to honor from the pulpit very often. So I'm going to honor our caregivers who are all in the back row, and we're so grateful they're with us. Amazingly diligent people. And some of them are willing to go to the playground if anyone who's in here would like to go with them. This would be the time we're going to sing our children to the playground if they want to go. Otherwise, we'd love to have them stay.
As you leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness that you learn light your hearts till you return.
Good morning. My name is Steve Deach. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he and him. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year. As I look back over the years when I was the kids' age that just went out, it was a week of vacation and play and getting away from school. When I was in college, it was going home and being able to have a great family meal and see folks that I missed throughout the year. Later, it became a time of a pretty light work schedule, or maybe a week of vacation, and just togetherness with everyone. And for me, I think the thing that I like the most about this week, as I think back over the years, is that it's a time of reflection. It's a time for all of us to be able to just step back and think about, what are we thankful for? What are the important things in our lives? And to spend that time with family, to spend the time with friends, to think about what is most valuable to us in our lives, and to actually give thanks and memory to those things. For me, one of the things that I'm very thankful for that's come into our lives over the course of the last 10 to 15 years is this church, and all of the relationships and friends that we've had that have come to us as a result of being here, and also the many times of support and education that it's provided to our kids, and also to us in times of need. So as you think about the things that are important to you in your life and in this community, today as we do our offering, remember that it takes each of us to be generous to make this all available to all of us. May the ushers please come forward. let us together dedicate our offering. To the work of this congregation, we dedicate this offering. Thank you.
So some of you get extra credit for knowing more words to the dedication of the offering. Yes, absolutely. You know, every year, I think to myself, on the Saturday before this service, as I'm baking the bread that will be our communal offering, whether it matters that we do this tradition at all. I always wonder about that. And I think about it, and I think, does it matter if we do this? And I question it. In some ways, it's antiquated. I know for some people it's difficult. And yet, I think that with all that it brings with us, it is important to continue to have traditions that we honor, that come from those who went before us, and we pass down to those who come after us. And what I love about this particular tradition is that I believe we do it in the way that it was supposed to be done. And in a world where we are increasingly in factions and divided, that seems really important to do and to honor and to make note of. For it is a tradition that was within both our Unitarian and Universalist heritage for many centuries. And there's a story that was told by David Villafora in an issue of the Buddhist publication Lion's Roar. And it goes like this. One day, Ananda and the Buddha were sitting alone on a hill together overlooking the plains of the Ganges. And having served as the Buddha's attendant for many years, Ananda often shared his reflections and insights with him. And this afternoon, Ananda said, "And dear respected teacher, it seems to me that half of the spiritual life is good friendship, good companionship, and good comradeship." And I imagine that Ananda said this with some level of confidence for praising the merits of spiritual friendship in this way. But the Buddha quickly corrected him. "Not so, Ananda, not so." Ouch. Perhaps Ananda wasn't expecting such a stern rebuke, but the Buddha was offering a powerful teaching. He continued, "This is the entire spiritual life, Ananda. That is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. When a monk has a good friend, a good companion, a good comrade, it is to be expected that he will develop and cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path, which is, of course, at the heart of the Buddha's teachings. So I think this issue of how we come together and how we build community, a community of memory and hope, a community that is supporting traditions, is really important in our time. Amani Joy Samuels is an advocate for rest, especially for Black women, and she notes that our biological nature is to be relatedness, to be related. She says, yes, we all need time for aloneness, and that's part of our nurture and our ways of replenishing ourselves, but we also need one another. We need room for true relationship, which takes time, people who give us confidence, someone who is whose consciousness is in dialogue with your consciousness. Our consciousness answers one another and thrives off of that, she says. Trees do that. Mushrooms do that. That's how the ecosystem works. And so when we celebrate community in this way, through this ritual that's been passed down all these years, we are in many ways celebrating friendship. Friendship that Villafora says Friendships that embody safety, intimacy, and compassion are what people everywhere in our ailing world need. It's what they're hungry for, and it's what we need to heal. So that is what I believe we celebrate each year that we gather, and those are the intentions that were baked into the bread that many of you had today. You know, companionship comes in many forms. Some companions are lifelong and others are ethereal, and yet often at the end of our harvest meal, people will ask, how many people did we feed? And the question isn't just about the body. The question is also about the spirit. How many spirits felt connected? How many people felt a connection? And that's why I think this year there was a space and graciousness, because that was the spirit of our meal this year. We had people who listened to one another. We had people who got a listening ear who hadn't had one in a long time. We had people who were able to talk who hadn't done that in a long time. We had people whose ideas were sparking off each other at some conversations. And there were some that were simply there making sure it happened in the manner of our little kitchen, the story that Travis showed, chopping and peeling and sautéing. It was a wonderful experience that way. David Villafora says there are times of isolation, loneliness, and craving for connection, and there are opportunities to reflect on one's capacity to be a friend to others. The safest way, he says, to make good friends is to strengthen one's own gifts for friendship. It can be so easy for me to blame or feel dependent upon another's willingness to reach out. But if I really want to grow the friendship, then it's crucial for me to examine what it is exactly that I am offering. I have heard, he says, Thich Nhat Hanh share with us countless times, but especially when a conflict arose in the Sangha, brotherhood and sisterhood always begin with oneself. And these days, Villafora says, we like to say siblinghood always begins with oneself, to include those of diverse gender identities. But I think that's why it's important for us each year to take time to think about what kind of community we want to be. One where we embrace the common in all of us. One where we ask everyone to sit at our welcome table. That, I think, is an important countercultural act in this world. Imani Spencer says that in her own Black Presbyterian church, communion was reserved for adults. And her grandmother had her own way of being subversive, always carrying with her for communion services peppermints, which she would give to the children as their own special elements. I think about the people that we don't always think about. We huddle with those we consider our people too many days of the year, and we don't always think about the conditions of all of those. I think about that and thought about that last night as I was washing the dishes in our kitchen on Friday. I think about the people living without water around the world right now, including those in Palestine and Ukraine, and those in the areas most affected by climate change. If I believe secretly in the back of my heart that the communion table, the welcome table, is really restricted and only open to certain kinds of people, then it's a different way of looking at the world. If we believe that we really all do need to sit at a common table, then this is a metaphoric act that's an important piece in establishing our communities of memory and hope. Elie Wiesel, in his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, noted, it is memory that will save humanity. For me, hope without memory is like memory without hope. Just as people cannot live without dreams, they cannot live without hope. Friendship, he said, and community, and the rejection of war is what gives us hope. David Villafora says that in Sanskrit, there is a phrase that means spiritual friend, and it translates as good, true, virtuous, upright, or beneficial. And mitra is the root word for matre, which means kindness. So a spiritual friend is someone who helps you realize your deeper aspirations, the one who uplifts your path to a higher level of ethical and spiritual well-being. And friendship, which comes from the Old English, means to love and to set free. So at its roots, friendship means to love freely. And these words point out a selfless kindness towards others that in this world we need to be reminded of. We are a place where we share many things. On Friday, that was food. Sometimes it's ideas. There are many different traditions. We live in difficult times, which some have called a time of polycrisis. And when we go through these times, we need places that ground us, these communities, these places of memory and hope. Let us continue this journey. Let us keep alive the traditions that remind us that what we have in common is our love for each other, for greater humanity, and for this precious planet.
We invite you to please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing congregational song, For All That Is Our Life. Here we go. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all that is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
And before we extinguish our chalice, I will just invite you to join us for some little bit of time of fellowship in our Borton Hall. And we hope you'll introduce yourself to one person you don't know at least before you leave our campus. We're so grateful to be here together. And I just want to thank Sierra Lynn and Bill and Scott and Nasa and Julie and the Ryder Family Band for all the great music for today. Thank you. And we extinguish our chalice with these words, which I was quite delighted for this service. They're from Shel Silverstein. How many slices in a bread? Depends on how you cut it. How much good inside a day depends on how you live it. How much love inside a friend depends on how much you give them. Let us go in peace and carry these thoughts into the world.
Start with I felt statements and then fill in the blanks. To communication, let us all give thanks.
I felt sad when you stopped talking to me. Without you there, I felt so lonely. Felt sad when I felt lonely when I'm
so sorry I stopped talking to you. I'm so sorry that I made you feel blue. I'm so sorry I did. Will you ever forgive? Start with I felt statements and then fill in the blanks. To communication, let us all give thanks. And I forgive you 'cause you shared from your heart.
And I forgive you. Now we got a fresh start.
Start with I felt statements and then fill in the blanks. To communication, let